Okay, all right, okay, all right. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Sorry for the long intro. Just very busy morning. My kid was sick last night, so didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and then just kind of dealing with that this morning. But here we are. I'm here. I know. Um, I was going to talk about that video, the Sabine Hassenfelder. I wasn't worried about climate change. Now I am. You weren't worried until now. So you know, what were? I've watched a few of her videos, but no, I mean she's getting better. She's getting better. I didn't see the other video. Google's AI makes stunning progress with logical reasoning. Oh, great. Yeah, it's okay. I actually felt like I was kind of getting twinges or something, but I fought it off. We'll see how the day goes. I feel good right now. um, but good to see you. We're live on YouTube. Rockfin, Colin. What TV show music is this reminiscent of? Oh, that's cool. Beretta. Does it sound like TV show music? That's great if it does. It kind of does, right? Now you think about it. I just okay. I guess it was like big news. The Sabine video was somewhat big news for people, but I watched it, and once again, once again, once again, we have people moving towards Guy McPherson's, towards the "it's time to worry" um, uh, viewpoint, and not people are not moving away from climate change is a serious thing. They're moving towards the climate change as an existential threat. Guy is winning. No, I mean I'm just if you want to, it's just something to take note of. More people come in contact with it, with reality, or with like the things that are actually going on and things that are quantifiable and data and all that stuff. And if you just are alive and you know are a person that takes in breath and your brain is kind of functioning, and you go outside in the world and you actually like perceive things and observe things in a critical way, you can see that things are definitely different. So I don't think it really takes a lot to understand this. I've had conversations with people that are just, I guess what you would call layman. I'm not an expert, so it's weird calling. I'm kind of a layman, I guess. Calling somebody a layman when you're not an expert is a weird thing. But people that are just regular people. Plenty of conversations with regular people going, man, things are not the same anymore. The weather's not the same. Where are all the bugs? Where are all the birds? It's funny because I was talking to my fams about the fact we haven't seen a coyote in a while, and then we saw one the other day. Don't seem to see many coyotes anymore. I don't know. You want to watch some of this Sabine video, or has everybody seen it? It's a weird. I don't really want to lame man. Uh, I don't really have time to play the whole thing, I guess. Um, but her conclusions too at the end are just like there are some things that she says that are just like, okay, I don't think humans are going to go extinct because there's just too many of us. That doesn't sound scientific. I mean, maybe. But if you heat the earth fast enough and things get, wildly out of hand, I can't see, you know, what's a blue ocean event? It's like the ice extent is not it's not every last drop of ice is gone. Its ice extent is below a certain threshold, less than a certain amount of ice. You know, if humans drop down to a few thousand, or even half a million, you could say that humans might be functionally not extinct, but if you go from 8 billion to less than half a million, um, that's a big drop. So I don't know. That's not extinct, but the intro song on 2 times speed is crazy. Oh, okay, I'll have to listen to it like that. 2 million, yeah. So blue ocean event is 2 million square kilometers, less than, which is still kind of a lot of ice. But so she says humans won't go extinct, and then she says we need to build nuclear. What? So humans won't go extinct. There's just too many of us. But what if there's no humans around to man the nuclear power station, Sabine? When people make conclusions like this, it makes me question, like, okay, love your scientific mind, but you don't seem capable of, like, basic reasoning. If you can't, right? When you see, I don't know. Anyways. Kojak. It sounds like a Kojak theme. Rockford Files. There you go. I love that show. I used to love that show. I don't know why I was really into the Rockford Files. I really love that he ate tacos in the morning, for breakfast. That's kind of an LA thing. All right, we'll play this. We'll play this a little bit. Not we'll play a little bit of it. We won't. And then also at the end, she pushes this environmental group, which I guess is okay. But like, I have kind of a natural, instinctual suspicion of environmental organizations these days, because you really don't know who they're backed by, and you really don't know what they're actually doing. And kind of in the same way that I have a healthy suspicion of charities, charity organizations. Some are good, a lot of them are not good. Yeah. Jay Moniker, I'm sure the 8 billion dead are glad there are still 50K left. If Yeah, it's like she's like, build nuclear, but like, if humans, or and their infrastructure are destroyed to the point where, or weather extremes get to the point where, you God dang it. I mean, what don't you understand about the delicacy of nuclear power and the fact that it relies on, several things being stable in order to even have nuclear power? I was just listening to it. I mean, yeah, anyways. just listening to another show, people talking about how the like fake nuclear power, nuclear is fake, and nuclear weapons are fake, and nuclear power and radiation isn't bad for. I mean, okay. 3 Mile Island. Tell that to the people that live around 3 Mile Island, and when that melted down, it's now a cancer alley. If anybody's watched the documentary about 3 Mile Island, or there's a movie about it, but it's a documentary. Everybody in that movie got cancer, and everybody in that, just a phenomenal amount of people in that neighboring area got cancer. So, maybe you don't want to live in a radiation cloud, right? Maybe you don't want to live in that zone. Oh my God. And the fact that, radiation can change, so many things about how things interact and how life continues on the planet, right? It's definitely will alter, plant life and ocean life. And I was gonna title this video "Conspiracy Wins," but maybe I'll do tomorrow. Here, one interesting thing about this video. She says
YouTube has.
She talks immediately about the fact that people dislike, anything about climate change, which is true. People automatically dislike anything about or don't believe anything about climate change. It's a thing. And I'm going to say right now, and maybe set up the show for tomorrow, that everything, I don't want to make it a subject of discussion right this second, but everything is a freaking conspiracy. Nothing is real. And I feel like that is a dangerous place to be. That's not. I am absolutely a conspiracy theorist. That's not me saying don't believe in these crazy, silly conspiracy guys. No. I am firmly in the camp of there are a lot of conspiracies out there. There are a lot of things that are fake. There are a lot of things that are not. That are narratives that are or rewritten history or whatever you want. Sure, there are plenty of things to investigate. And I'm a firm believer in that, but we live in an age where it's just people distrust any official entity at whatsoever, any narrative whatsoever. Again, it's like a cult. It's like being in a cult is bad, but being in the anti-cult where everything anything that's not the cult is wrong, fake, a lie, right? That's being in another cult. So don't be in any cult. Stop being in the cult of, there are no conspiracies, and then there's the cult of everything is a conspiracy. So just, man, somewhere in the middle is the truth. Always. The middle way is, a really good way to to look at life. So, just let's anyways. All right, let's watch this. We'll watch a little bit of Sabine. She has some good points. She has some weird points. We're not going to watch the whole thing.
YouTube has removed the dislike counter, but the numbers are still available backstage. And I can tell you that my most disliked videos, by far, are those on climate change. Doesn't matter if it's good news or bad news. Some people, it seems, reflexively dislike anything about the topic, every time. And to be honest, I can kind of understand that. It's a little tiresome, isn't it? Climate change, extreme weather, heat records, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this for so long, and look, we're still here. Stop talking about it already. I get it, and I'd rather just talk about some fun new physics stuff. But I feel like I need to tell you about this because the lives of hundreds of millions of people depend on it. Climate scientists are having an argument about a number, one single number called the climate sensitivity. I don't like what I've read, it really worries me, and I think you should know. I know you expect me to be funny haha, not funny peculiar, but I'm afraid this video will be more on the peculiar side. Why does Sabine worry about climate change, and why now? That's what we'll talk about today. This video comes with a quiz that lets you check how much you remember. 2023 was the hottest year on record since the beginning of records in the mid-19th century. Not just the average temperature increased to never-before-seen levels, in many places heat waves were also longer and hotter than ever before. In February, Antarctic sea ice reached an absolute record low since the beginning of satellite measurements in 1970.
So that, this, I'm just going to stop here. This is a point, there are several data points that should be concerning to people on the planet Earth. And I don't care whether there's no reason why somebody would fake this. There's no, if this was, nobody would fake this to the extent that this, graph goes down, right, to the very bottom. Right? Like, if you were trying to fake this, you wouldn't do it like this, because this looks almost stupid, right? Let's just draw it going straight down. Nobody would fake it like this. So, this is where it's at. This is actually what's happening, and if you're telling people that never listen to any climate people whatsoever, they're all fake and crazy. You're doing your listeners or anybody you're talking to a disservice. I don't know what else to say. Whoops.
79, and global ocean temperatures reached a new record too. I don't know about you, but to me that sounds pretty bad. Now, it's possible that 2023 was somewhat of an outlier and average temperatures will somewhat decrease in the next few years. There are several reasons for this. First, there's just regression to the mean. But second, there's also that in 2023 we switched from a La Niña to an El Niño phase. The La Niña-El Niño phases are quasi-periodic global climate patterns. These phases switch somewhat irregularly, but roughly every 2 to 3 years, and the El Niño phase that we just switched to is typically somewhat warmer. So next year might break more records because it will still be El Niño, but in 2 to 3 years we might see a slight cooling. And third, some researchers have speculated that part of this year's warming might have to do with the decrease in pollution over the oceans caused by new regulations of ship exhausts. It's somewhat unclear how large this effect is, but we do know that air pollution does indeed have a cooling effect, so maybe that's part of the reason. Be that as it may, I worry that even if 2024 is not a new record breaker, the overall trend in the next few years will be steeply up and the situation is going to deteriorate rapidly. The reason is to do with a quantity called climate sensitivity. Climate sensitivity, contrary to what you might think, is not what makes people hit dislike on climate change videos. It's a property of climate models. It's the temperature change that one finds in a model when one doubles atmospheric carbon dioxide over the levels of pre-industrial times and then waits for the system to come into equilibrium. In the literature, it's called the equilibrium climate sensitivity, ECS for short. This equilibrium climate sensitivity isn't something we directly observe because no matter how much they dig in Saudi Arabia, in reality carbon dioxide levels don't suddenly jump by a factor 2. However, it's a useful quantity to gauge how strongly a model will react to changes in carbon dioxide. And this climate sensitivity is the key quantity that determines the predictions for how fast temperatures are going to rise if we continue increasing carbon dioxide levels. Up to 2019 or so, the climate sensitivity of the world's most sophisticated climate models was roughly between 2 and 4.5 degrees Celsius. These big climate models are collected in a set that's called the Coupled Model Intercomparison Project, CMIP for short. That's about 50 to 60 models and is what the IPCC reports are based on. So until a few years ago, we had a climate sensitivity of 2 to 4.5 degrees or so, and that's what we came to work with. That's what all our plans rely on, if you can even call them plans. You've probably all seen this range in the IPCC projections for the temperature increase in different emission scenarios. It's this shaded region around the mean value. Loosely speaking, the lowest end is the lowest climate sensitivity, the highest end is the highest climate sensitivity. Then this happened. In the 2019 model assessment, 10 out of 55 of the models had a climate sensitivity higher than 5 degrees Celsius. That was well outside the range that was previously considered likely. If this number was correct, it would basically mean that the situation on our planet would go to hell twice as fast as we expected. Okay, you might say, but that was 5 years ago, so why haven't we ever heard of this? What's happened is that climate scientists decided there must be something wrong with those models, which gave the...
Okay, I think that's all I'm going to play of it. Basically, to recap. Yeah. So the climate sensitivity is much worse. Things are going to progress. Basically, again, she is now switched to the viewpoint that so many other people have switched to, which is climate change is much worse than they'll ever let you know. And yes, they don't. Nobody's really talking about the situation as it stands, and nobody's really, Michael Mann, that's why Michael Mann is everybody's favorite climate communicator, because he's like, well, climate change certainly is bad, but if we just get some more solar panels down there, and get a little carbon capture, well, then we can totally stay under the goal of 1.5, and we're at 1.5 right now. So, and in a very quick overview, the overview is this. There's been a recognition that climate change is a thing. It's very bad ever since it was really brought to the table in a larger way in the 70s. To the with the the first government panels on climate change. It has been the findings and the recognition of how bad it could be have been watered down by moneyed interests, by fossil fuel companies, and by anybody else who has an interest in downplaying the situation. That has been from the very start. That has been part of the program. And also outside of that, fossil fuel companies have done a really good job generating this like skepticism and or denialism and or that is a total fossil fuel corporation funded think tank generated narrative that is now the fashionable narrative pretty much anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, and that's why everybody thumbs down on anything climate change, because their propaganda there has been very effective, so effective, and it feeds right into the idea that everybody, all the elites are lying to you, right? When really the elites are just saying, well, climate change is a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it certainly is a problem. It's going to be a problem in the future. Oh, we should do something about climate change. Golly gee whiz. Except we're not going to do anything whatsoever about climate change at all. Because doing something about climate change would mean dismantling the system that they profit from. It's not that they're not flying jets around because climate change is fake. They're not buying houses on the ocean because climate change is fake. They're just profiting from a system that has been built up over time. This system, keeps people in power and in profit, and doing anything of substance about climate change means dismantling that system, which they will never do. They'll never do it. So it's not that climate change is fake. It's just they really have no intention about doing anything about climate change because it would mean actually giving up their power. It would mean actually doing something for the planet and for people, and you can't ever do that if you're one of the powerful. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about that. The Ministry for the Future is such a great book and covers a lot of aspects. But they have some interesting ideas in there, but I don't know that they really go. There isn't really anything in the book that goes into like the concept of degrowth, right? Yeah, she goes on to say nuclear, and it's just like, all right, okay, yeah, no, you're not serious. You're not a serious person, Sabine. You're not a serious person, and I question your scientific mind when you say stuff like that. Because you can't build these things that are inherently dangerous. Without the understanding that so building nuclear means that you think that human beings and the systems they have built will stay intact, over a long period of time, and that humans, there'll be people around to make sure that these things run appropriately and don't melt down, break down, go offline. That there's nobody around to manage the nuclear waste. That there's nobody around. I mean, come on. Right? We can't manage nuclear waste right now. We cannot manage nuclear waste right now. We cannot manage nuclear waste right now. There's, the big nuclear dump, where is it? In the Marshall Islands? Where they did a bunch of testing? Is that near the Bikini Atoll? It's a huge nuclear, and it's falling apart. And it's just going to start releasing a bunch of nuclear waste. It's just going to release nuclear waste into the ocean. And there's nobody's doing anything about it. We're just like, oh, well, it looks like, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, no, I know. San Onofre is kind of far from me. It's a San Onofre is like 100 miles from me, maybe less. Maybe 80 miles from me. Diablo Canyon, I don't know. Diablo Canyon is north. That one might be a little closer. I'm kind of midpoint, I think, between both. Let's see. Yeah. Diablo Canyon is San Luis Obispo. So, it's about, I think I'm equidistant. One's north, one's south. Yeah, I know. And they're, are they decommissioning Diablo Canyon too? They're decommissioned, in the process of decommissioning San Onofre. I think Diablo Canyon's still going. Yeah, it's still running, as far as I know. January 18th, 2024. The Biden administration finalized approval of $1.1 billion to help keep California's last operating nuclear power plant running. And that's, I think that's Diablo. $1.1 billion. Okay. So they were going to close it. They were in 2016. They voted to close it by 2025, and they're like, and then in 2022 they're like, nope, let's keep that open. Yes, the waste will stay. Anyways, the point about everything getting voted down, all of our climate change videos getting the most dislikes is an interesting one, and, not surprising. I'm going to look at a couple other things. I'm way closer to San Onofre? Yeah. Maybe. I mean, San Luis Obispo is not that close to me. I want to say it's about as far away as San Onofre is down by Oceanside or San Clemente. And I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm off. Yeah, it's right below San Clemente, or right around San Clemente, right below San Clemente. And I'm about an hour and a half from San Clemente, probably, with no traffic. Maybe an hour and change. And let's see if I can put in Diablo Canyon. Diablo Canyon is above Santa Barbara, below Morro Bay. Actually, I think I'm farther from Diablo Canyon than I am. Yeah. I think actually San Onofre is closer. But it's about equidistant, as I said. It's about the same. Anyways, I don't know why. Need to tell you that. Deline says women living within 75 miles of a nuclear reactor are 5 times more likely to develop breast cancers. Yep. So keep on listening to the people that are telling you nuclear power is fake and it's not even dangerous. Remember, there used to be a dude that used to watch my channel that was like super into like no, there's no problem. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure about that? You sure that people living near nuclear power plants are not living in cancer alleys? You want to be super sure about that claim. Because you're talking about people's lives. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Sodium reactor experiment? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. Is that... I mean, I'm really close to JPL, which they did a bunch of... there's, they say that they're just kind of like a monitoring station, but they actually did do a lot of like rocket testing and, rocket fuel development and all kinds of things at JPL, which is, a mile from me or maybe a couple miles from me. Yeah, it's probably about a mile from me. JPL is like a mile away. But there's apparently in the it used to be known that we had really clean water, but then they were like, oh, there's actually like rocket fuel in your like elements, chemical, like rocket fuel chemicals in your groundwater. So good luck. Good luck. Crazy warm northern hemisphere 2.3C. You will not read it in front page of newspapers. Nope, probably not. Yeah, they're not showing you, for the people that are like, they're just trying to do the climate change on you. Well, how come you will never see these charts on national TV? You'll never hear people really like talking about this in a big kind of scary way. Because if people were seeing these charts on, MSNBC or CNN, people would be like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Like, people would really freak out. People would freak. Like, if they were actually showing these kind of charts on CNN, people would really be freaking. And how do they report heat waves? Still, is heat waves. Wow, really unseasonal hot weather today. This heat wave is a goocher. Some say it might be because of climate change. Right? They're not, that's how they cover it. Well, this heat wave sure is weird. Oh, this weather sure is strange. Wonder when it's, whenever it passes, we can just go back to normal. Sodium reactor is 43 miles to Pasadena. Okay. Yes. Forever Chemicals. Yes. Is what is in our groundwater, because they did do some rocket development at JPL. And also Caltech is in our backyard too. Caltech is down the road. Here's something from Poppy. She says, for Halloween, I'm going as a chart. So, previous two deglaciations, so the loss of ice, over a certain period of time, right? So the previous two deglaciations took, it looks like, like 10,000 years, 12,000 years. This is over a like a 12 to 14 year time span of deglaciation. This is our deglaciation here, which is a really good stock market spike. Straight up. What you might want to see in a if you're trading something, but definitely not what you want to see in loss of ice. So this is, we've lost more ice in just in a second, in a millisecond in geological time, than we did over the past two deglaciations, which took 12,000 years and did not lose. Sorry. Thank you. So these are my bad. Yes, so you can see this. 12,000 years. Past two deglaciations, less ice, way longer time. And that is what happening. That's what happening. Do you like it? The way I'm Englishing. So there's that. Here's a atmospheric methane. Here's another chart. So last 400,000 years to the present time. Here's the methane the ups and the downs, deglaciation, right? Here's 1, 2, 3, severe deglaciation. 4, CO2 and methane levels, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Pow! Straight through the moon. Like, we are way off the charts. So if you want to know, like, where we are, nice. Oh, thank you, Rich Diana. Appreciate you, man. Got a very generous tip on Rockfin from Rich Diana. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Gigabane, why is mirror one of the worst things we can do? What makes you say that? Give me your thoughts on mirror, the mirror project. No comparison to the previous spikes. Yeah. I mean, people want to like bring up, like geological time or things that happen in the, like it's scientific or something. But if you just say like, look, what we're doing in 100 years, which is a millisecond in geological time, just a blip. We've gone farther, faster in such a small amount of time compared to what things that happened in the past. So. Okay. Or plants need PAR. We reduce the amount of light they get, and then the whole of nature slows down its assistance in this fight. Oh, well, I think the mirror project is just reflective. I don't think it actually blocks any light from entering hitting the earth. It just reflects the light that is hitting it. I think that, I'm not sure, but I think that's the premise of how it works, but I could be wrong. Yeah, mirror designs deploy surface solar protection. So it doesn't work in the same way that SRM does. But a lot of people have their suspicions about how well it's going to work, or if at all. I don't know. But maybe I misunderstood your. Not really sure. I mean, I think the general gist of it is that it's going to cool some surface temperatures and reflect some energy. I don't know. Okay. Got a couple more things to look at. Well, several more things to look at, but we'll see how far we make it. So many things we can cover today. More on warmer, very warm northern hemispheric anomalies. The world you grow up in no longer exists is from Go Green. Canadian Arctic temperatures 20°C to 25°C above normal predicted for tomorrow. This is actually 2 days ago, but still. This is an, pretty large anomaly. Yes. The atmospheric rivers are coming. I was going to cover that too. Just you hit me right before I was going to talk about this, but I talked about it a couple of days ago. The arc atmospheric river times 1,000 scenario where there's just massive flooding everywhere. But anyways, there is some significant rain coming our way. So if you are in the area, please take heed. California will be impacted by 2 significant atmospheric rivers over the next 7 to 10 days, bringing widespread heavy rain and mountain snow with potential flood issues. First storm will move through the state Wednesday, Thursday, bringing widespread rain totals of 2 to 5 inches across Northern California with a couple of feet of wet heavy snow in the Sierra. Southern California will also see significant rain with 1 to 3 inches expected across much of the region. Second storm, however, is by far the most concerning from a flooding perspective, especially for central and southern California. Models are showing the potential for the second atmospheric river arriving early next week to potentially stall and slow down over central southern California. This could bring prolonged periods of heavy rain on already saturated soils, bringing the potential for significant flood issues. Stay tuned. Flood watches have been issued for the entire Bay Area, Sacramento Valley for the first storm expected to move through Wednesday and Thursday. Anyways, there was a big atmospheric river event last year, which did do some damage. Let's see. Let's see. A couple other things to cover before we get out of here. So, it's a chemical leak, foaming river in Brazil. We're just, I don't know what is going on. It looks like this truck has lost its brakes, or it looked like this dude is having an issue. But anyways, this truck crashed and dumped a bunch of chemicals into the waterway in Brazil, and now they're having fun with that. Sorry. No. So people are grabbing. This is affected their water source in the area. So now everybody's forced to buy plastic bottles full of warm. So look at this truck. Look at this. They have the footage of this truck crashing. It looks like just, yeah, it was out of control. This guy could not stop himself. Yay. All right. It's actually pretty warm outside. We got a couple of days. Somebody's asked me about if it's cold. It's actually the last 3 days have been like really nice, and we're going to get one more day before we get the storms. So it's going to be in the 70s today. So it's already kind of warmed up. It's going to be kind of comfortable today, but then we get a drop in temperature and we get a whole bunch of rain. Excuse me. Clearly, I need more coffee. New study finds that Alberta tar sands is what? Worse than expected. What? No. Say it ain't so. I mean, it's more polluting than we thought. Oh my God. Jeez. Yeah, 24C. It's gonna be like, and actually last night was actually nice, and I opened the window last night. It didn't really drop down below like 58. And I opened the window because my kid was sick, and I would just want to get some like fresh air in the casa, so we weren't both just breathing in sick air. But it wasn't too bad last night. Anyways, new study finds that Alberta tar sands is releasing between 19 times and 63 more times more pollution than previously known. This means air pollution from the tar sands is equivalent to all other air pollution sources in Canada combined. Again, if, fuel is a renewable resource and it's just made in this middle earth, there's no such thing as peak oil. Everything is a lie, guys. Don't ever believe anything that anybody ever tells you, because golly gee whiz, that would be, I mean, yes, okay, I get it. A Corsi Rosenthal box? I don't know what that is. I get it. Yeah, there's a lot. I'll be the first to tell you, I think some things are worth questioning for show. But just at some point it gets a little bit silly, because you're not really actually looking at some, it's kind of like thinking that we should build a bunch of nuclear power plants while the climate is completely unraveling, and we don't know, one day to the next what place on the planet is going to have a 1,000-year flood or a drought or, some other kind of catastrophe, calamity. The future looks extremely chaotic, and you're talking about building something that requires, 24-hour surveillance. That doesn't add up. That's just not a smart thing to do. That is not a wise thing to do. Not something a thinking person would even suggest, right? So just, let's stay in reality, folks. Try. I don't even know what it is. Corsi Rosenthal box is a design do-it-yourself air purifier that can be built comparatively inexpensively. Oh, I see. Okay. Sure. I see it now. Okay. Not a bad idea. Got it. Yeah. Let's see what else we got to cover today. I know we didn't do any climate change yesterday. We're pretty much doing it today, all today. Boycott the stupid bowl? I certainly will. For one, I don't have a TV. I know. You can watch Super Bowl on your phone or something, but I haven't watched the Super Bowl, and I can't remember how long it's been. I don't care. I haven't watched a World Series, or I'm more of a baseball person, and I can't remember the last time I watched a World Series. I pretty much gave up on sports. I'm just not into it. Roland Switch says, here in Jersey, it's supposed to get cold in a few days with Arctic mass coming down. However, only one day will go below the 79 to 2,000 average. Meanwhile, ice on lakes is going away. Yep, it sure is. The ice on lakes is going away. Okay, so this is from Thomas Reese. We have all heard from the emergency meetings, no? Right? The emergency meetings on climate change and what is going on with the planet, because things are way out of whack, but no, we're not having a like like a special council, like a ministry of the for the future type get together, like, Jesus Christ, guys, this is off the rails. What are we going to do? We need an emergency. No, nothing like that. Okay. Why? Because I'll say it again. Doing anything substantive about climate change would mean dismantling the system we currently live under, and too many people profit from that system. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want to trap you in the system, even more. They want to tie you to the wheel, right? They want to surveil your bank account and your social media accounts and your, and control everything that you do and make sure that you get all your, pharmacological uptake. They certainly want to do that, of course, and they'll use climate change as an excuse. But do they want to do something more? Absolutely not. I mean, come on. The Truth says Sarasota County, Florida used to freeze with temps down in the 20s back in the 60s and 70s. Okay. Well, anyways, so here's 2024 daily surface air temperatures, and these are in the tropics. The tropics are heating up. This is 2016, which I guess was the previous high. This is 2023, last year, of course. The yellow line, the gray line is pretty much the highest. But 2024 coming in hot, coming in number one so far. We're number one. So in 2024, look at the end of 2023 though. 2023 looks kind of towards the mean, but towards the end of the year comes up and kind of comes up right along with 2016 as far as high temperatures, and then just continues into 2024 now on top. And that can't be good. Okay. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we'll finish with this. Environmental Coffee had a good show yesterday. Oh, shoot. What was it about? This is Aaron K. responding to Michael Mann is quoted in CNN as saying it's irresponsible to claim that 1.5 degrees climate goal is dead when the world can avoid crossing this threshold. And this is the NASA adjusted temperature anomaly. We're at like 1.5, bros. We are there. So I don't know how you avoid crossing it when you're already there, right? You're not going to stop. This is not, pulling your truck up to the train tracks. Halt. There's no big halt sign for global temperatures. Like, nope, right there. Nope, that's good. Do not cross. No, not at all. Here's the line, here's the graph, here's where temperatures are and where they're going. And, we're going, up at a, ever increasing speed, right? The angle of this upswing just keeps getting steeper. And we're past 1.4. We're pretty much at 1.5, or some, would say, hey, we're already there, definitely there, or maybe even farther. There's no avoiding. We are at 1.5. We've already, for all intents and purposes, we are at 1.5 or past it. We're that guardrail is done and dusted. Over and out. And I'm sure, now all the talk is going to shift to 2. That's pretty much done and dusted. You might as well count that as done and dusted too, because, why? Because the momentum of the energy in the system. There's no way to turn that around anytime soon, or with a quickness. Like, I don't know, unless you want to, maybe the big plan is to explode a couple of nuclear weapons on the planet, and maybe that'll do it. I don't know. I'm not suggesting we do that at all. Please do not do that. If anybody's thinking about that, please do not do that. I don't know how to turn this energy imbalance around. Short of some really wild, and any of those wild ideas are not good ideas, right? So how are we going to, we're not going in the other direction anytime soon. Who knows? All right. But it is a little bit, wild for Michael Mann to be making these claims. Aaron K says, yes, the mean will take a while to cross 1.5, but the underlying data with natural variation is still accelerating. Tick-tock. All right. Acceleration. All right. That does it for me, guys. I'll let you know how to support the show. If you do enjoy the show coming at you every day for free, and it does every little bit helps keep this going, to keep me in this seat. You can support at buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. Cash App at Red Llama Music, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, PayPal.me/Kevin Sandbloom. You can Zelle me at Kevin Sandbloom at ProtonMail.com. All right, guys. That does it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And till next time, peace.